2021, I made $250,000 with online courses, coaching. 2022, I did my first million. 2023, I did 10 million. We've done like over $30 million in sales.
And that's all course sales?
All course sales.
William Rivera, from Amazon warehouse worker to taking on e-commerce.
I was a felon at 17. I grew up with a single mom in an Amazon warehouse, making only $11 an hour. Talked to this one guy. He's like, yeah, I'm spending $10,000 a day in ads. Back then, I used to think it was crazy. You know, now at our peak, we were spending like $25,000 a day. Now we would make all the money back plus some.
What's like a common trait that you see amongst like some of the most successful coaches?
The most successful coaches that I see, what they have similar to each other is they have.
Welcome back to the Shane Holmes podcast. Today we have Will Rivera with us. Will is a gangster when it comes to running online ads. He's a multimillionaire at only 25 years old. Will, thank you so much for coming on, bro.
Hey man, I appreciate you having me on.
Do it. Have you shot a bunch of podcasts?
Yeah, I've been on a lot actually.
Yeah. You enjoy it?
Yeah, I like doing them.
Yeah.
Especially because my best ads and my best content overall is usually clips from different podcasts.
Really?
Yeah.
So you'll like clip a podcast and turn it into an ad?
Yeah, like this one, I'll definitely clip it. Every podcast that I get on, I send it to my team and we clip it and we run all the clips as ads.
Really?
And usually we have like one good ad out of every pod we do.
Sick. And having that like new content,
Yeah.
every podcast, like it continues to increase the performance of the ads.
Yeah.
Because it's new.
And it's just easy too, because you know, like you might sit down and try to record an ad, but you might have brain fog or you might not know what to say.
Yeah.
And a podcast is just so natural.
Yeah.
People
Like
are asking you questions.
Yeah. You're not like,
Yeah.
oh, I gotta get this take right, bro.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Yeah. No, I feel that. I just shot some ads the other day. Like it's definitely better to have the organic. So do you run a lot of paid ads? Like what is the bulk of your business and like how do you run it?
Yeah. So on the education side, like
Yeah.
to sell programs and stuff, 80% of our revenue, or I would say like 90 comes from paid ads.
Really?
So we spend a lot of money on ads.
And do you run it yourself? You have a team?
I have a team that runs it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And does much of it come organic or is it all primarily
We
paid?
get organic sales, yes, but we wouldn't be doing the numbers we're doing without paid ads. Like
Yeah.
paid ads is the easiest way to scale.
Yeah. And do you usually charge people like you bring them in and it's like a few $100 a month or do you sell them like a package? Like what do you usually do?
Yes, so we do a weekly webinar. Every
Okay.
Sunday we do a 2-hour free training. And
Okay.
at the end of that training, we sell a $1,000 program.
Okay.
And then after they buy that program, they book a call with my team and we tell them about our higher ticket stuff. So we
Got
have
it.
like a 5,000, we have a 7,500. And a lot of people just end up upgrading right after they buy the
Got it.
$1,000.
So you're
program.
doing paid ads to a free webinar.
Yeah.
You take the webinar and then if they like what they see,
Mhm.
they'll buy whatever package they can,
Exactly,
they can
yeah.
afford. That's cool. I like
Yeah.
that model. I have a buddy that does that. He coaches people on how to coach. Like he does, like
Okay,
he
yeah.
coaches people on how to sell their courses.
Right.
And he did exactly what you just explained. The reason why I'm asking so much is because like I'm in the process of potentially going that direction with coursework, and I just haven't really done it yet.
Yeah, the weekly free webinar is good. Monthly challenge is good. Like if
Yep.
you do like a 3-day to 5-day virtual event,
Mhm.
that's usually good if you want to sell higher ticket. And then a video sales letter to a VSL is good.
Okay.
We do that too. We run ads to a 10-minute video. People watch it. And then at the end, they book a call. And
Got
then
it.
My sales team just,
So if they make it through the 10-minute, they're pretty high intent.
yeah. And then
And then-
everyone that opts in, we dial them too. So yeah.
That's cool. Have you ever sold anybody or have you ever ran it where you just like sell them on a weekly like group coaching? Have you taken that approach or is it not profitable?
It depends. Like what would be the price point?
Like I was thinking of taking like a $3.99 a month for real estate agents.
Right.
Because that's like affordable for them. And then if you
Right.
have, 20 people or whatever, and you run it in and you do a few of them a month, have you played with that or?
So my $1,000 program, we let people get in for $99 a month as well.
Okay.
But the way that I sell it is at the end of the webinar, I tell them, if you pay right now at the end, you get lifetime access. But if you can't afford the lifetime access, you can also just get in for $99 a month.
Got
And
it.
we also give them a couple bonuses at the end of the webinar for everyone that enrolls that night.
Got it.
And that incentivizes people to just pay in full.
Sick.
So you could do like a $3.99 a month, but also just have people that pay the yearly, the annual.
Yeah. Just have both options.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Cool. And so you're running everything paid. You have a team running it. So what is the package that you usually sell to people?
So it's a program called Ecom Degree University.
Mhm.
We teach people how to basically make money on Amazon. But we also have other things in there like Shopify dropshipping. We teach that.
Mhm.
We teach Amazon FBA. We teach TikTok Shop Affiliate. So just different ways that you can make money online.
Yeah. And does much of your revenue come from like running the Amazon shops and things like that? Or is it mostly like coaching?
I mean, from 2018 to like 2020, I was deep in like e-commerce. I ran my own Shopify brands. I ran my own Amazon stores. And then from like 2020 to now, I've been deep on the coaching.
Cool.
So we've done like over $30 million in sales, just
Sick.
Education.
That's
online.
awesome, bro.
Yeah.
Love that. So what did you do before that?
Before I got into like e-commerce
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
So before that, I just worked at an Amazon warehouse.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You got on the right side of the shipping table?
Yeah, exactly. So like I already from the inside looking out, I knew that people were making money on the platform.
Yeah.
Because I was literally loading the semi trucks with,
Yeah,
with
love
the
that,
orders.
dude.
So yeah.
That's sick. So you came from Amazon, and then I saw that you just bought an apartment building, right?
Yeah, about a 24 unit apartment
Sick.
building, like outside of Atlanta.
Are you getting more into real estate investing now, or is that just kind of like a piece of what
Yeah,
you're
I mean,
doing?
that's my end goal, is to take all this money I make online and just park it into real estate. So I have a quadplex in Cincinnati too,
Yeah.
which I regret buying because I was like, damn, the same amount of work I put into buying this is basically what I did for the 24 unit as
Yeah.
far as like paperwork and stuff. And you just make way more money when you buy more units. you know?
Yeah.
So I have the quadplex in Cincinnati, the 24 unit in Conyers, Georgia, which is like outside of Atlanta.
Mhm.
And I also own like my own home, bought my mom a home, but
Nice.
I want to get into multifamily,
Yeah.
like heavy.
Yeah. Multifamily is cool. It's funny. Everyone I talk to has the same exact end game. It's all like, how can we produce as much income as humanly possible to buy more real estate?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I've met too many people that have come on the podcast where that's not like the end goal. And I'm just realizing that now, like talking to you, like every single person, it all ends up in real estate.
You're talking to a lot of smart people.
Yeah.
That's what you should be doing.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't understand the tax implications of buying real estate. Like your 24 unit building, like people don't understand, not only does the real estate go up, you also get to depreciate, even though it's going up in value. The government lets you tell them that it's going down in value,
Mhm.
and it helps offset your taxes. You know this, presumably. This is mostly for our people watching, but even if you buy a duplex or a single family house in your local city, there's huge tax advantages that not a lot of people talk about, which make it so good.
Yeah, we did a cost seg on our 24 unit and we saved
that.
over $700,000.
Yeah.
So I
it's
mean
sick.
that was crazy for me to see on paper. I was like, wow, like now I understand why people get rich off of this.
Yeah. And then like all the while you get a mortgage on it. Your tenants are paying down your mortgage balance every single month. You get to deduct taxes on the building to save on your income taxes. And then all the while your 24 units just going up in value.
Right. And something that people don't understand too is the money you make when you refinance.
Yeah.
So a lot of people think that you have to sell the real estate to make all this money, when in fact you can just refinance, pull millions out tax free, and keep the real estate.
Yep.
So it's literally like a wealth hack.
It's a hack. It really is. Like I've said this multiple times on the podcast. The only reason I have any kind of a net worth is just from the real estate I bought. Like all the other income that I get, and it's a common story across the board. Anytime I flip something and I don't hold it, the money always ends up going somewhere, whether it's into cars or crap. Like it always, but with real estate, it's like that forced savings and like.
No, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It's like for me, I love real estate because I know that if I'm making all this money online and I don't spend it on real estate, I'm going to buy something that I probably should.
100%, dude.
So it's like, I might as well go broke buying real estate rather than buying all of these depreciating things.
If you do ever have to sell a building or a house or something, like generally you're making money. Well, if you did it right, like you're making money. That Ferrari, I'm going to lose money on it. There's no two ways about it. Like that thing is going down in value and I'm going to lose money on it.
Yeah. I put 10,000 miles on my Lamborghini. So I'm already down like 6 figures. In value
Yeah. That's funny. How long ago did you get your Lamborghini?
So I bought the one I have now. I bought like 3 or like 4 months ago. I think it was like 4 months ago. That's my second Lambo. It's a 2023 Lamborghini Huracan Evo.
Yep.
It's an all-wheel drive. And yeah, I bought it with like 600 miles and I already put 10,000 miles. I daily drive it. I don't know. Do you drive that one a lot, the Ferrari?
I drive it a fair amount, but I probably drive that more than I did the Lamborghini.
Yeah.
But I'm always pulling up to like half my business, not half, maybe 25% of my business is people that have like, $600 to $1.2 million houses. So like I usually won't daily drive the Ferrari because I won't pull up to a $600,000 house in a Ferrari.
Right.
Because they're like, who the fuck is this guy? Like pulling up like, So I have like an Audi station wagon, the RS6
Okay, nice.
that I drive. And that's like relatively unassuming, unless like cars, you just think it's a station wagon.
Right.
So that's usually what I do. Like,
Okay, cool. How many cars do you have?
I have my the RS6, the Ferrari, and then I have my wife's Escalade.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because I've seen you post content with just like crazy cars.
I have a problem. Yeah, I'm always in and out. Like I'm always buying something, and
okay, so you're just always in something new, and then you flip it.
usually I'm like kind of starting to like think about, okay, well, I might actually keep this Ferrari and then like add something to it.
Right.
But that re-enters the equation of just buying more shit that goes down in value. So
Right.
yeah, but I started in the car business when I was like 19 in car sales, and before that, I had a business plasti dipping people's cars out of my parents' garage.
Wow.
Like that was my original business that I started in college, and that like I used that to get through community college. And so I never thought I was going to be in real estate. I always thought I was going to be in cars. And then I started selling cars, and I was like, I kind of like met a few real estate agents, and I'm like, met a few car salesmen. And if you do the math, like on average, usually the top performing real estate people are making like, yeah. So I was like, nah, I'm out.
Yeah. It's like at the end of the day, it's still sales.
Yeah.
But when you sell real estate, you just make a lot more.
My friend's dad told me this at like a super young age. It's what clicked with me why I went into real estate. It's all about putting yourself in between larger dollar amounts. Like $100,000 car, $300,000 car is kind of like, that's high end for a car. And like regular house is like $1 million. So I was like, all right, fuck it, let's go.
And that's good logic too.
Yeah.
That's a great logic to use. And now you're here. We're in the new office.
True. So how old are you?
25.
You're 25, bro. That's crazy. So you're 25 and now you're mostly focused on coaching.
Right.
When did you buy your first Lambo?
I bought my first Lamborghini at 23. I think I was 23. Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. So I bought it right before I bought my apartment building.
Okay.
Yeah. That was the only way that I could do it. I was like, okay, I'm about to buy this Lamborghini. And literally the next week, I bought the 24 unit apartment building.
That's crazy.
I was like, I want this building to pay for this car.
Okay. I'm really glad you said that because I want everyone to listen to this. Every car I own ever, I usually lease most of my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
My real estate, the passive income from my real estate pays for all of my car payments. And I've always had a hard rule. If the money I'm not working for doesn't pay for my cars, I won't buy it. So the fact that you had that mindset going into it is fucking amazing.
Right.
Because like I hate watching people spend their earned income on dumb assets. If your cash flow is paying for it, it doesn't matter as much because like you have someone else doing it. But if you're hustling day in and day out just to make that payment, like
there's a quote and it goes like, earn income and then buy more of it.
Yeah.
And that's basically what I try to do.
Yeah.
Like you said, I don't want to use my active income to just pay for these cars and all that.
No, it adds up fast. So you get into this asset that's paying for your car payment. Whereas like, okay, let's do the math. So usually people are going to lock up 300 grand on it, a Lambo, Ferrari, whatever it is.
Right.
You can take that same $300,000, put it into a real estate asset that's going to cover the payment on the car. You're going to get tax advantages from the real estate. And also the house goes up in value. You know this, but I want to paint that whole picture for anybody listening on how important it is to not buy cars and to buy real estate first. Or like you a week after.
Yeah. I mean, someone might look at your content and think all you do is buy cars. That's what I thought.
Yeah. Yeah. I bought my first house in Newbury Park, about 15 minutes away from here, for $580,000. I always had a rule to myself, like I wouldn't buy a car unless my rental income was paying for it. That house was a 2-unit. The guest house rented out for like $2,500. And at that time, when I finally got the guest house rented out, I went and I got an Aston Martin Vantage. And ever since then, I just followed the same equation of like, I mean, now I don't spend all of my rental income on cars, but like I've always made it with that threshold of like, I am not making these payments myself.
Right.
Like if I have to make this payment, I'm not buying it. That's stupid to me. That might shake some feathers, but like to me, that's dumb.
But yeah, no, that's a good way to think. And I think all of these like ways of thinking and ways of buying things come from, I don't know if you probably read like Rich Dad, Poor Dad growing up, or Think and Grow Rich.
Yep.
Because it seems like a lot of people that think that way have read those books.
Yeah.
And I know those books for me, they changed my life because before reading those books, I thought that you had to trade time for money. Mm-hmm. And I also was very ignorant the way that I would spend my money and look at things. So I'm sure you've read those books just from the way that you're talking and the way
Yeah.
that you move.
I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. What I like about that is his outlook on debt. And I kind of have like a blended look on it. Like I'm not huge on taking on as much debt as possible. Like I like taking on good debt.
Right.
But when it comes down to selling an asset, like we talked about, or pulling cash out of an investment and keeping it, like pulling the cash out 8 times out of 10 is the right decision. And a lot of people will just sell the asset. In my eyes, like as long as whatever you bought is paying for itself still, just pull the cash out of it and keep it.
Right. Yeah. When I learned the cash out refinance game, I didn't really understand why people would sell an asset. If they're buying it right, it's appreciating in value every year. The tenants are paying for the mortgage. I just don't see a reason at all why you would sell it.
Yeah. And the houses that I have sold, because like I flip houses too. One in particular, there's one house that I did sell that I just always kick myself over. So now anybody watching this, like, don't sell unless you absolutely have to.
What's crazy is my mentor told me the same thing, like a similar story. He has around 400 or 700 units all in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me he just refinances all of his stuff. You know, all of his stuff appreciates every year.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me the one regret he has is selling.
Yep.
And he sold one of his buildings. He said that's the only regret he has.
Yeah. Out here, shit's so expensive. So like I'll buy a single family house for like somewhere between 600 and 800 grand. And then I'll convert it into a 3 unit,
Nice.
either a 2 unit or a 3 unit. And I've done that about 3 times. And then I used to buy luxury single family houses out here. I have one of those that I kept as a rental, but now rates are so high and like those asset prices are so high that you can't really keep them as rentals anymore because they just don't cash flow. Like you'll just lose money on them. But I had one house back in the day that I had rate locked at like 3.6%. And I ended up selling it for I think like 1.6 or 1.7. I made money on it, but like I definitely should not have sold that house.
It would have cash flowed crazy.
Oh, dude. And it was an interest only loan too. Yeah. So I think my payment on that house was like 4 or 5 grand. And that house would rent for about 10 to 11 a month.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. I kicked myself, but I didn't really have a choice. I had to fucking sell that house. I needed money. But if I could go back, I would have figured out a way to keep it. I mean,
you had to learn your lesson eventually.
Yes. So like literally you got to feel it. You got to feel it to know like I'm not doing that shit again.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I only learn by making mistakes like that. I have to learn the hardest way possible. So.
I've always been the same way, dude. Like if I don't feel it or like I don't see it myself,
right.
I guess as I'm getting older now, I'm starting to like barely listen to a little bit, but like I still have to like, I got to see it.
So talk to me about the converting the single families to the 3 units.
Yeah.
Do you go through the city for that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So we have in California now we've passed ADU laws, accessory dwelling unit. Mm. So if you buy a single family house, it has usually a 2-car garage. So I'll go in, I'll buy it, and I'll convert the garage into a rental unit.
Okay.
That will cost me like 90 grand and it'll rent out for somewhere between $2,300 and $2,700 a month. So call it like 25.
And this is where in this location that we're in
this
right
location.
Now?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then in the backyard, if there's space, I can build another unit in the backyard. I can build like 1,200 square feet, up to 1,100 square feet of a detached guest house. And that'll probably run like 200K. Yeah. And then that'll rent out for like 3 grand or a little bit more because it's so hard to get things to cash flow right now with how high interest rates are and how expensive houses are. I'm basically buying places for a good value and then like forcing the cash flow by like building other units on it. Mm-hmm. And then I'll I won't pull out all of the equity at the end of the project. Like I'll do a cash out refi at the end and I'll just leave enough money into it so that it'll break even or make $1,000 a month or something.
Right.
And then once rates float down eventually, because at some point they will, I can refinance everything into like lower interest.
Yeah. No, that's a good move. That's a good move.
Yeah, it's like the only thing.
You have certain like lenders that, you know, they're just on go.
Yeah. So like what's sick, once you start doing a lot of deals and like I didn't know this early on. Once you start getting really good relationships with your hard money lenders, because usually I use hard money because a lot of the houses I buy are messed up. They don't have flooring or whatever it is. Or even if they do, my hard money company, they finance me 100% of the purchase price. They'll fund the construction. So like I don't have to come out of pocket now. Mm-hmm. Whereas like when I first got it started, what I did was on the 2-unit house I bought in Newbury Park, I bought that with 5% down. 580. I was 24 years old. And then I used my own money to fix it up.
Right.
And then just rented it out.
5% down is crazy.
It's crazy. And it's literally the best thing that people can do because like young people are never going to out earn the market. Like if you're 25 or whatever, I mean, you're an anomaly, but like a regular 25-year-old is never going to out earn what the real estate market is doing. So if you only have 5% to put down, that's like the best thing you can possibly do.
Yeah.
You put the 5% down, just get in because your net worth starts once you get into real estate. And if all you have is 5%, fucking just run at it. What do you have to lose?
Right.
You know what I mean? Just take a run at it.
That makes perfect sense. A lot of people don't look at it that way. A lot of people are scared to buy a house.
A lot of people are scared and a lot of people get bad advice on debt. You know, people talk down about, oh, you're over leveraged, 5% down, whatever.
Right.
But if I never took those risks that I did when I was 24, everyone told me not to buy the house because it was crazy. And you know, I was like selling houses during the construction to pay for it. Like it was crazy. It was a risk, but
yeah, I mean, a lot of people, they're scared of credit card debt. So now when you're talking,
I'm scared of credit card debt.
Yeah, I got some credit card debt stories as well, early entrepreneur stuff. But a lot of people are scared of credit card debt. So it's hard for them to even get a house loan or you know, think about debt in that way.
Yeah. Yeah. And that to me, like I've always had a very positive look on real estate debt because like that is the debt that makes you rich.
Right.
Like when you're scared to go into debt, like this Dave Ramsey guy, you know Dave Ramsey?
Yeah.
He's always talking all this shit about, oh yeah, you know, go pay cash for the house and pay this off, pay that off. Like if you are an up and coming entrepreneur and you want to build a net worth, you can't do it without debt. Especially in a market like this where a house is 800 grand, what 20 or 30-year-old is dropping $800,000 in cash to go buy like a regular house? Like it just is that advice is crazy.
Dave Ramsey, he's a funny guy. He's a smart guy though. He knows exactly,
he's very rich. Like
he knows exactly who he's talking to. Like he has a target audience and he just talks directly to them. He doesn't care what anyone else says. Yeah. Because he knows people are talking shit about him. Yeah. And he has like one of the top coaching programs out there right now.
He does.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
A lot. Like I keep hearing more about coaching. When I guess now that I'm moving more into the social media space, it's like natural to hear more about this. But like the more I start talking about it, I'm like, all right, I got to get started. Like I gotta
need to. I mean, like we were talking about credit card debt. Like before I got into coaching, I used to spend a lot of money on different products for e-commerce and all this with my credit cards. So, and I remember one e-commerce business failed, and I racked up a lot of credit card debt with Amex. Got banned from ever using Amex. And when I finally started a successful e-commerce business, made more money, and then I got into coaching and stuff. Every single person I met in this space flew for free, stayed in hotels for free.
Really?
They didn't pay for anything. And I would talk to these people and I'd be like, yo, how are you flying for free, staying in all these hotels for free? And it's because all of them are spending 6 figures to $1 million a month in advertising and just getting points.
I just heard that on the other day and I never even thought about that.
Back then I used to think it was crazy. Like I talked to this one guy. He was like, yeah, I'm spending $10,000 a day in ads on my Amex Gold. I get 40,000 points a day. And, you know, you're spending $10,000 a day in ads, but you're getting a return on that money every single day as well. Yeah. So you're basically just getting free points. Yeah. And, you know, now I see it because I live it too. You know, we spend at our peak, we were spending like $25,000 a day in ads. And we were spending all of that to get traffic to our webinar. Yeah. And in our webinar, we would make all the money back plus some. You know,
that's sick. So even if you were just to break even on it,
right,
you still have all those credit card points.
Exactly.
Like your worst case scenario.
Exactly. So if you're in the coaching business and you're doing paid ads, there should be no reason that you ever pay for a flight or a hotel, because if you're using the right credit cards and you have a good product, you know, you're just going to rack points every single day.
What's like a common trait that you see amongst like some of the most successful coaches?
The most successful coaches that I see, what they have similar to each other is they have great stories. Because at the end of the day, people are buying you. You know, there's a lot of people that have a Amazon program or a real estate program, but people will buy from someone that they see themselves in. So they'll buy from someone that they can resonate with. Yeah. My program does well. You know, I have an Amazon program, which there's a million other people that have that. It's probably one of the most saturated programs out there in the coaching industry. But the reason why I do so well is because people resonate with my story. I was a felon at 17. I grew up with a single mom, 2 little brothers. I did it 6 years ago. I was working at an Amazon warehouse, making only $11 an hour. And I use my story to my advantage. You know, I tell my story because you can copy my product, but you can't copy my story.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of coaches fail, is they don't leverage stories.
I love that.
You know, and I was just talking to my friend the other day at the mastermind that I told you that I was at. And he said something that stuck with me. He said a lot of coaches, if they're not getting the results that they want with their courses, their coaching programs, usually it's not a conversion problem. It's a story problem. And if you just hold that close to you, bro, you'll do really, really good in the coaching space.
Yeah, no, I really like that. I find like, because I'm obviously operating in the real estate industry, and a lot of the people that I see fail in the real estate space, it's all because of branding. Like they're not going in on their brand, and your brand is your story, and they're trying to copy what the other guy's doing that's working for him.
Yeah.
And they're not focusing on the only thing that we have that's unique to us, which is our brand. I just don't understand why more people don't focus on that. It's literally all you have. Like in the end of the day, that's all we have is our branding.
Differentiator.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. Same thing with coaching. Same thing with anything that has to do with online business. E-commerce is the same way. Story sells, plain and simple.
I love that. Yeah. How long ago did you start really focusing on social media?
So lucky for me, I've been documenting my whole journey, even when I was working at Amazon. Like,
oh, really?
I just had this crazy confidence that I was going to figure it out.
Yeah.
So because I had that delusional, crazy confidence, I was like, you know what? Let me start posting on Instagram every single day until I start making money. And I was just documenting me, you know, doing product research, documenting me, you know, watching courses, watching like, this is like Ty Lopez days and stuff.
Yeah.
And eventually everything clicked. And because I was documenting everything, I started getting a lot of social media followers around 2020. And because they saw my come up. And I didn't drop a program until like 2 years of me documenting stuff. So by the time I dropped the program, people were begging for it. So I already had like a raving fans, a big audience.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I got started, just documenting everything, like day in the lives every single day, going live every single day with like 5 people on it. But it's just growing steadily.
Yeah. And what's been like the biggest thing that's helped you really like scale your following?
The biggest thing that I did was run paid ads. Paid ads is the magic sauce
really?
Right there. Yes.
Really?
Because you might post something and it does well, but if something does well for you organically, running ads to that same existing post is like pouring gasoline on the fire. Because if you post something and it does well to your organic audience, paid ads is just getting a million other people to look at that same post. Which if it did well, it's going to do well if more people see it.
Yeah.
So that's all I did. I was already doing well. I was making probably like $250,000 a year with coaching. And that was all organic. That was just me working my ass off, posting every single day, YouTube.
Yeah.
Like just going crazy. I realized that I was just working way too hard. You know, I was over here trying to create better content, create more content to capture more people when my content that I already had was already good enough. I just had to run ads to it and get more people to see it.
Yeah.
And then that's what I did. And I went from $250,000 a year to like $10 million a year just by doing that.
It's insane, bro. Love to hear that. Dude, that's hard to process, bro. Tyler, we got to start running some ads, dog. By the way, big shout out to our sponsor, Inspired Garages. They are at our house right now, building brand new cabinets in the garage and completely converting our other podcast studio into a beautiful space. Thank you, Inspired Garages. So you more than 10x. Yeah. So, that's insane.
Basically how it went is, I think 2021, I made $250,000 with online courses, coaching. 2022, I did my first million when I started running ads. And then 2023, I did 10 million.
And that's all course sales.
All
That's
course sales,
fucking
all
sick,
online
bro.
sales.
Yeah. So what's your next move? Like what's next for you?
So what's next is I'm currently developing a software. It's an Amazon software called Scam Profit. That's going to make it easy for just a everyday person to walk into any grocery store like Costco, Sam's Club, Marshall's, take the app out and scan the barcode of any product in the store, and it'll tell you if that product is profitable to sell on Amazon or not.
Oh, sick.
Yes. So we're just making it super easy for anyone to just make money on Amazon. Because the way that we teach people how to sell on Amazon is called wholesale. A lot of people, they tell you to like use companies like AliExpress or Alibaba, buy products from China, sell it on Amazon. That's actually the hardest way to make money on there because you're selling generic products from China. You're not going to be on page 1 of Amazon. You're going to be on like page 5,000.
Mm-hmm.
But what I teach people how to do is how to open up wholesale accounts or source products from brands that people already know, like, and trust. So brands like Sony, Logitech, Fiji, brands that millions of people are already searching for on Amazon.
Yeah.
And how you can buy those products in bulk at wholesale prices and then just sell them for retail.
Sick.
And the app is going to allow people to basically
do that live.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Be at Costco. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. And that's a really cool product because it's available to everybody.
Right. That's my next move because we already have over 20,000 students in our program and we recommend other softwares, but now they're going to be using our software.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. I like right now I'm in the process of potentially buying an escrow company because like me, my agents, other agents I know, it's like everyone's using an escrow company. Why not mine?
Right. Right.
why am I paying this other company to do it?
Yeah, exactly. That's the same way that we were thinking. You know, you want to eventually just kind of centralize everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And once it's centralized, like this is something that I just made a post about today. It's like once you have a cash flowing asset group that's like all centralized, like for me, it's my real estate brokerage and escrow, title businesses, mortgage. Like once that's all under one household, and there's like established cash flow, if at any point in time you wanted to sell that business and those assets, like you can package it together and actually sell it. Whereas
exactly.
Like for me as a real estate agent and for all real estate agents, that's the reason why I started my firm. Like sometimes people ask me like, I already had 100% of my commission and my office paid for, like, why would I leave? And the only reason is because I can sell it. If you're a real estate agent, you're not selling your business. You're just retiring.
Yeah, it's like you have this one brand, this big umbrella, this big brand with multiple profit centers within it. So it allows any investor to really come in and run it, which gives you that exit value.
Yes. Yeah. I love talking to someone else that understands it. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm usually talking to real estate agents out in the field and they're like, why would you do that? The liability. I'm just like, shut up. Like,
yeah. I don't know if you've seen my content, but one thing I love saying is you got to be able to see the other side of risk. And most people just can't see it.
No.
Which is why they're saying that type of stuff.
Yeah. Like, why do you think that there are huge conglomerate real estate brokers throughout the US and the owners are some of them billionaires?
Right.
Like they just took the risk. They're like, yeah, we're going to have insurance. Lawsuits could happen, but like, fuck it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a great idea that you're doing the escrow company. And there's probably even other opportunities within what you do that you could probably start a company for as well.
It's funny. I was just talking to, believe it or not, a termite company. So like in California, termites are a huge problem. Most houses that get sold, they end up having like a fumigation or like termite treatment, something like that. And I was just on the phone with my termite guy today, and I was like, "Hey, I've been talking about like maybe buying a pest control company. It doesn't sound sexy at all.
Right?
It's like a super dirty job. Right. But those kinds of industries, like the house servicing businesses, can be pretty profitable.
And those are billion-dollar industries.
Yeah. And I called him today. I was like, "Let me know if you hear of anything." He's like, "Hey, I'm actually I'm selling my business."
Oh, wow.
And I was like, okay, let's talk. That was literally like 3 hours before you got here.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's an alley-oop.
Yeah. What I find the struggle is hiring staff, because I got to staff someone to run that business. Right. And I'm also looking to hire an operations manager here. That's where I start running out of space. It's like, dude, it's so hard to find good employees.
Yeah, you might have to either buy or partner with someone that owns a staffing company.
Keep it going.
If you're gonna run all these different businesses and you're always gonna have to hire and fire people, that might be a good move. I know I have buddies that they started their own like staffing companies.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I've heard there's good money in that.
Yeah, there is, because so my buddy that has one, he runs an agency, like a marketing agency. So he's always hiring people, but he also has clients that always need people as well. So they just go through him.
Oh, perfect. So then he's basically picking the best off the top and then filtering out the rest.
Exactly.
Oh, that's cool. Do you have any other plans of buying any more units in the near future, real estate wise?
Yeah, so we're in the process of refinancing out of our 24 unit. So we should be able to pull like a little over $1 million out of that. And after that, we're definitely trying to buy something else, something bigger.
Yeah.
Like maybe like a 40 unit, 50 unit.
How much is a 50 unit in that market?
50. So our 24 unit was 2.6 million.
Okay.
So a 50 unit would probably be double that price.
Yeah, probably around 5. It's hard for me to do like the mental math because I'm so used to looking at like California prices, which are shocking.
Right.
Like a 2.2 million, you're getting like a 5 unit or something, like depending where.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
crazy.
what the it's crazy in California.
Would
I mean,
you
the
ever
upside-
buy multifamily out of state?
I probably would
Yeah.
when the time is right. Like right now, I run a lot of money on ads to find deals in California. I have an investing corporation for buying houses, fixing them, selling them, turning into rentals, whatever. And I run money to ads for that company
Okay.
because a lot of times, like I'll go into someone's house and if it's not a fit for me to buy it, like maybe it's a little bit too nice and like they're not distressed or whatever the situation is, I'll just tell them straight up like, hey, you're probably better off just putting this house on the market. Like what I can pay you for it doesn't really make sense compared to what you can just sell this thing for. And if they're open to putting it on the market, I'll just turn that into a listing. So I'll still make 2.5% of the sales price and just list it. But to answer your question, in the future, yes. Yeah. Or maybe in the near future. Like,
Right.
who knows? Why not?
Would you ever start like a software? Or do you use any software?
I use
currently?
softwares. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a software that I use that helps me manage all of my rentals.
Mhm.
And it makes it really easy. I have a portfolio all in Thousand Oaks and Westlake, which is where we are. Everyone that I rent to, they signed a lease agreement through the software, hooks up to their bank account. Their money gets automatically transferred into my bank account every month. If they're late on their transfer, I get an email. I find that software to be super useful.
Yeah, dope. You should probably look into creating your own, especially if you use one every day. Just
Yeah.
because the simple fact of you having a software or one of your businesses using software. I remember Patrick Bet-David, he did an interview and he was talking about how he sat in a meeting with investors. He was trying to exit his mortgage company.
Mhm.
And they told him that he could exit for like 3x or whatever the profit was. And the only way he could get to 10, 15x is if his company was tech enabled. Meaning it had some type of software.
Yeah.
And he did that and literally exited for
And
the
then
first
just
10x. Yeah.
Crushed it. Yeah. That's sick. I've had a few thoughts. Like one of my projects that I did back in the day, I listed the world's first house as an NFT, like back during that boom.
Oh, wow.
And that was a really cool project that kind of helped like put me on the map and get some followers. And I have some other like thoughts on something of that nature that would potentially come to fruition in like 3 to 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
That would basically potentially just replace real estate agents, but that's like a long game.
Yeah, that's a controversial
it's
topic.
Real controversial.
Yeah. I got a crazy story when it comes to NFTs and crypto. And all.
Let's hear it, bro.
I've lost like $3 million in crypto.
Yeah.
During the NFT boom, one of my friends, he texted me. I've always been locked in. I'm big on the one thing. I don't know if you read the book, The One Thing by Gary Keller, but I'm just big on just focusing on one thing. So even during the NFT boom and all this, I really wasn't too focused on it. I was still focused on my online business. But one of my friends was he's really into crypto and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And he texted me and he was like, yo, I see this NFT project. I think it's going to pop. They just dropped. Send me 1 ETH and I'll buy like some NFTs for you. And I was just like, all right, whatever. 1 ETH was around $3,000 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I just sent him 1 ETH. And then a couple hours later, he sent me these three pictures of these apes. And it was 3 bored apes.
Oh, shit.
So I sent him $3,000 and I got 3 bored apes. And I didn't really think much of it. I was just like, all right, cool. Like, whatever. I didn't even know what NFTs were.
Yeah.
So, I'm just doing my online business, just going about my day. And then like, I think a month later, each one of them was worth $10,000. And then a couple months later, each one was worth like $50,000.
Yeah.
And I just kept holding on to them. And I remember at one point in time, each one of them was worth $400,000.
I remember that.
And
that was just wild.
And then they did I forgot what it's called. It's called an airdrop. They did a drop where for each bored ape that you had, you get a mutant ape. So they gave me 3 mutant apes and each mutant ape was worth $100K. And then for each ape you had, they gave you 10,000 ape coin. So I had 30,000 ape coin and ape coin went up to like $30. So just from ApeCoin, I had like $1 million worth of ApeCoin just from that. So I remember looking at my MetaMask and having $3 million just in value in it. And now it's not worth anything. Because I never sold. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Yeah.
So that's one of the hard lessons that we were talking about. Now I know, if you make a lot of money in crypto, you should probably sell.
Yeah. I have a buddy that he day trades shit coins.
Okay.
And he has made more money than I have this year. Day trading shit coins.
Yeah.
And like he has the opposite thing where he's like, oh man, I shouldn't have sold this coin. It went up another, like, at least for me, like I almost don't touch it at all. Like I have some money in it because of the one thing. Not that I can remember reading that book, but like I'm very big on just focusing on real estate. Like every penny I have for the most part is in real estate. I live, eat, and breathe it. I know exactly how each asset is going to perform, like down to the dollar for the most part. And anytime I start kind of like sidestepping or like looking at that, we call it the girl in the red dress or whatever, like that next sexy business idea, I'm always like, no, just focus.
Yeah.
Go sell more houses.
That's usually the best way to do it.
Yeah.
And it's hard because you see all these people making crazy amounts of money in like whatever else is out there, the shiny objects.
Yeah.
That's my crypto story. Literally.
That's so fucked, dude.
Yeah, it's fucked.
But that stuff is so cyclical. Like 3 million again, it could be. I think that NFTs could have another lifeline at some point.
Right.
Like I don't think they're done. Personally. I mean,
I hope you're right because
me
I
too.
still have them.
Yeah. I still own the house. I never ended up selling it. I still own the house that is the world's first NFT.
That's crazy.
And like if that market comes back and we start utilizing NFT technology for real estate, and I own the NFT that was the first piece of real estate, like
can't even put a price tag.
Let's hope it comes back.
Yeah. You can't even value that.
And then I ended up so I bought that house. I paid like $740K for it as a 2-unit. And then I built it into a 3-unit and just kind of kept doing that. And 7 years later, after I bought my first house, just did that a few times. But I kind of like the multifamily idea too. As my income starts to scale, like buying into those bigger assets or like raising funds with other investors to go in and like buy these assets. I think that's probably the next move.
Yeah, I think with multifamily it's just, the same headache that you go through doing the smaller deals is the same headache that you'll go through doing the bigger deals. But there's just more money that you'll make.
Yeah.
More money's involved,
Yeah, just need a bigger down payment.
Right.
Yeah, and to not be a pussy. Just do it.
Yeah. But it's the same type of loans too, just like how you were saying, they fund all the renovation.
Yeah.
The same thing with like the multifamily.
Oh,
too,
really?
For my deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it like a hard money lender or was it a?
Yeah, it was a hard money lender, high interest loan.
Yep.
I put like 20% down.
Yep.
But they funded the whole renovation. They just give it to you in draws.
That's what I do for some of the flips. Like they'll kind of give it to you in draws. Since I have other assets, so like let's say I buy a house in Thousand Oaks for $700,000, they'll finance 100% of that, and instead of having to do the draws, they'll just give me cash up front to do the construction. But I'll use one of my other properties to cross collateralize it, which basically means that they just take a position on that house,
right?
So that they're more protected,
right? That's
been like a really great recently.
That's really good. You move faster now.
I exactly, like what you said is exactly true. Like I have one flip going right now. I am closing on another house on the 15th.
Right.
And I can because they're giving me 100% of everything. Like otherwise I would probably want to wait for that flip to close. Cause like I have so much cash tied up on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I can just do that, use the funds, fix it up, refinance it.
I learned this from being in a real estate mastermind. So
oh, you did?
I got into a real estate mastermind. It's my mentor. It's the one that has 700 units in Atlanta. And I was the only person in the mastermind with no real estate background whatsoever. Everyone else in there was, an agent, or they already were doing fix and flip, single family. They were doing some type of real estate already. I kind of just came in with only an e-commerce background. And the one thing I learned being in there is all of these real estate investors, their money is always tied up.
Always.
Their money's always in a
always,
deal.
Dude.
And it made me so grateful that I had an online business, because I was like, damn, having all your money in real estate is cool, but you always have to wait for something to close or something or someone to pay you out on a draw, or they're like the money's always tied up, which is good for you to have an online business and do real estate at the same time.
Yeah.
So you're not always just waiting
And
on
like,
something to close.
it's interesting you say that because like I have my sales business, which funds all of my purchases and
Right.
things of that. But like I am really starting to fall in love with the online business side of things.
Yeah.
I'm just like wondering, I'm like, am I chasing that red dress? Or am I like, or should I just run it? But I think it's close enough to being in line with like the verticals of what we're doing right now.
Right.
Because we're already online.
I think it is in line because basically your day to day is what you would be recording and what you would be using as ads, and you would just be monetizing what you're already doing.
Interesting.
It aligns with your life.
You're literally not shooting individual ads.
Yeah,
You're just
I'll still shoot individual ads, but you going to a fix and flip or you going to somewhere where you're already going to go because you're doing work, you recording that and you recording an ad in there will make you more money.
Yeah.
And it's 100% profit because it's a digital product.
Yeah.
And then and then that same money that's coming in from that digital product, you can put it back into a deal. So it's like, it's full circle.
Yeah. Do you have like a good ad agency that you work with to run your stuff, or do you do it?
My ad agency that I work with, they specialize specifically on webinars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's my guy, Aaron Ball. He runs that agency.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sick. I might hit you up for some help on that. Ask me anything about everything real estate related and I'll tell you right now. But when it comes to online space, I'm like, I have no fucking idea.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the same way when most of the stuff that I know about heavily is internet marketing.
Yeah.
That's like my stuff. But anything outside of that, I'm a beginner. Real estate, I'm starting to learn a little bit more now because I'm actually involved in it. I have money in it.
Yeah.
But I'm the same way like you. It's all about that one thing and just being an expert at that one thing.
Yeah.
So.
And you're exactly right. Because if you're doing that one thing, you can use that income and place it wherever.
Exactly.
Yeah. Dope, dude. Well, Will, I appreciate you coming on, bro.
Hey, it was a pleasure, man.
Absolute fucking pleasure. And I'm excited to make this connection.
Let's do it.
Thanks, bro.
Appreciate you, bro.